we're going to do another podcast again after Let's Grow More Mastermind in Dubai in October last year, 2025. Scott was present and his business, the 8-Week Transformation Challenge, has scaled in such a short period of time from about $100,000 per challenge to nearly $250,000 per challenge. And what we're going to speak about today is the reasons why and what happened at that mastermind. Who is Scott? What is the 8-Week Transformation Challenge? What is the 8-Week Transformation Challenge and how it is a success today? So a lot of people don't know who is Scott. They don't have your background. They just know that you are successful, that you're living in Dubai, and obviously your business is going great. So where are you from, Scott?
I'm from Edinburgh, Scotland.
And what was it like growing up there?
It was good. Typical, it was actually quite rough upbringing. Good parents, but in terms of the friendship circles and the surroundings and everything, it's just a typical working class environment.
Everybody knew everybody.
Everybody knew everybody, but you could have went either one or two ways. Career aspects, everything like that. So for me, why I'm different, I have no idea. My parents had no idea. They always say they do not know where I got my ambition from. But it's just something I felt like I was born with rather than...
You saw like an opportunity.
I seen an opportunity in everything. So when I was growing up, I was selling bikes. My friends were out drinking. I was building businesses. I was trying to do anything to make money. I have no idea where that came from. I was never pushed that direction from my parents. This is just what felt normal to me.
What was that first business? Let's say not about selling bikes. I don't know, but I'm sure that was handy enough thing. But what was the first thing that you actually did that made a little bit of money and you said, wow, I could do this over and over?
I was a paper boy. I delivered the local newspaper and I actually had 2 paper jobs. So I'd done the Herald and I'd done another one, the local one for the evening news. And I just wanted to do more because it brought in more money. That was it.
What age were you then?
I was young. I think I would have been maybe 13, 14. And that's all I cared about, was doing something productive to make money.
How much did you make a week?
Nothing. Literally, I think it was like £6 or £7 a week.
What did you do with that money?
I saved it. Every penny that I got, I saved it. And I had no idea what I was saving for. This was just in my nature. I just like to make money and I like to put it aside.
And were you going to school all the time when you were doing this paper round?
Yeah, I was going to school as normal. And when I was not at school, I was thinking how I could make money.
Okay, now we're talking about school.
Yes.
So now start talking about your education then a little bit further. So did you do good at school? Did you do well at school?
In school, I was actually pretty good. I was not the most intelligent, but I would say I was probably mid-class. What would you even call that?
You just passed type of stuff?
Yeah, I was...
Or you're better than pass?
Yeah, I was good, bad, or bad, good. I was one of these ones. So I was never like a top achiever, but I was well behaved. I studied, but I was nothing special in terms of grades.
And was it good enough to get you into college? Did you get some type of degree?
I stayed on for an extra year at school just because I had no idea what I wanted to do. This was just the thing. You either left at the end of 4th year or you stayed on for another year or 2. So I stayed on an extra year just because I was a bit lost. I had no idea what I wanted to do for a career. And then I kind of fell into a job as an electrical engineer. And why? It sounded good. It sounded what you're supposed to do. Oh, okay, you leave school, you become an engineer. And it's meant to be a good career. So that's why I done that. I had no love for engineering. It's just, it sounded good.
And you went and got a degree?
No.
So you apprenticeship?
So I done an apprenticeship from school. I was making £140 per week as an electrical engineer. And it was not on the tools, it was in an office. I was literally designing lights and lux, anything that was anything to do with that. Inside an office, I had no idea what I was doing. And that was my first job. And I absolutely hated it.
From your first job then, because we're here talking about the 8-Week Transformation Challenge, which is what we ended up working together on. Where's the touch point with school life, growing up in that environment where everybody knows everybody, most people went a certain way and you went another. Where in all of that did the fitness journey start? And what age were you when you started it?
the gym changed my life. So when my friends were all out drinking, partying, taking drugs, whatever they'd done, I was in the gym. I loved the gym. I just ended up going one day with one of my friends, just boredom. And I fell in love there and then. I would train 5-6 times a week, and that's where the love started. From then, I never had any inclination that I was going to go and do personal training or be a coach or have any business in fitness. I just knew that I loved it. It was good for my mind. It was good for everything. That's where that came from. There was no, I never thought one day, oh, okay, I'm going to start a fitness business that's going to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
I just went to the gym because I enjoyed it and it improved my life.
I remember when we first met, I think it was after the rally we did, I think it's nearly 2 years ago now. I asked you, how did all this start? And we'll get into that in a minute. But one sentence you said to me is, I used to sell fitness spreadsheets or counting spreadsheets. And I want to know where that sort of started and who was your first customer, or how did you even sell the concept of this spreadsheet? Because the whole 8-week transformation challenge really derives from that process that you used to do when you were at the gym and you were training people. Can you go into it a bit there?
Yeah, so those spreadsheets, I still actually use them to this day. In the back end of the business, the current customer does not receive those spreadsheets anymore, but actually stemmed from COVID. This is when the challenge started. So before I moved to Dubai, which was in 2017, sorry. I moved to Dubai in 2017. And the reason I moved to Dubai is because I was in engineering in the UK. I'd done an apprenticeship in mechanical engineering and I hated it. It was good. I was surrounded by my friends. We were working together. But I knew from the very start, waking up and putting a boiler suit on every day was not the life that I wanted to live. And every morning when I put that boiler suit on in the changing rooms, I was thinking, how do I get out of this situation? And I knew one day I was going to, and I was always busy. And this comes from go to the gym every day. Like, you build a solid mindset. And I knew that one day I was going to make something of myself. This was just a stepping stone along the way. So it became a time that I thought, I need to get out of this game now, and moved to Dubai. So I risked it all. I handed in my notice to my boss and I moved to Dubai with no goal. All I knew that I was going to do, something in fitness. So maybe I should have mentioned, when I was working as an engineer, as I said, I like to make money. So I also developed properties. So I bought my first property. I was flipping properties. I was waking up in the morning. I was coaching a client in the morning, 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. Then I would leave the gym. Then I would go to my engineering job. I would work 7:45 until 4:30. Then I would leave there. I would go back to the gym. I would coach 2 clients. Then I would leave the clients. I would go to one of my properties and I would start painting or renovating a flat that I'm renovating to then flip and sell to make money. And this was my life solid for 2-3 years, to the point I actually was really, really sick and burnt out because I was working so hard. But the whole intention of that was to generate as much money for freedom so I could then start something.
You were working one job, and this is something that I like to obviously highlight, because it's very important for people who are watching this to realize that you didn't just quit because you hated it. You didn't just quit because you're like, F this. You obviously got to the point where you knew that you had something where you were generating capital. You were developing a couple of ideas. One was the fitness journey. The second was the property flipping journey. At that moment, was there a balance? Was there a swap over? You had enough money that you could do this. Can you give me an idea of what your mind that day that you said, I ain't turning up to work tomorrow, I'm handing my notice into the boss?
Well, my cousin Steve, he lives in Abu Dhabi. He moved to Abu Dhabi a long time ago, 25 years ago. So that was my introduction into being an expat and living abroad. So that was always in the back of my mind. And the main reason that triggered me to move to Dubai and quit my job was actually my auntie, Steve's mum. She was close to me. She was on her deathbed. She was dying with cancer, and she took me by the hand and knew I was miserable. Told me, take the jump. You have to go and do something and be happy. And that was the push that I needed to take me over the line. And that was it. After she'd done that, within a month, I handed my notice in and decided I was moving to Dubai.
So, obviously, sorry to hear about that story. Didn't know about that bit, but
yeah.
it should be good for the views. So you're on the plane over to Dubai. You haven't got a plan, really. You haven't got a job lined up, I'm not sure. But you have the concept that you want to do something in fitness. You've sort of bred this idea around the challenge and around the spreadsheet, which is the core of the product that you have today. Obviously, it's a little bit more formalized, more professional, where it's an app, which we'll get to the actual launch of that towards the end of this. But you land in Dubai, brand new country, by yourself. Your cousin's out in Abu Dhabi. It's still a 45, 1 hour drive away. What did you do to start? Did you get a job straight away, or did you go full on trying to figure out this spreadsheet game?
So actually, as soon as I knew I was leaving, I had a buffer. I knew that I was leaving in 4 months. So that was my time frame. It's not like I just quit my job and left the next day. I was like, okay, let's be sensible. Leave after the summer because I knew it was too hot in Dubai during the summer. So I actually left on the 28th of September, 2017. And I knew I had 4 months. I was like, how can I establish myself now or get some sort of market material to then move to Dubai and then market myself as a coach or as a personal trainer? Because I knew I wanted to go over there and do something in the fitness. It was the easiest thing to do. I know I didn't want to go over there and jump in oil and gas and be an engineer. I wanted to completely get myself out of this industry. So I moved over there. The 4 months, I had 4 months. I got my mates that I knew were out of shape but had good potential, enjoyed the gym. I got them in shape. I got a good result with them. So I used that market material to then take me over. And I can remember it to this day. I got myself some white Nike jumpers. I got Scott Harrison personal training in silver on the back. We can actually pop it up on the screen for users to see. I've got pictures of this. I actually still have a physical jumper just to remind me of that.
Yeah.
And I wore that on the flight to Dubai. I remember my mum was behind me when I was checking in the queue. She took a picture of me with that logo on the back of my shirt, and that's all I knew. I was like, I'm going to make something work when I go here. And that was my intention.
Nice. So you get to Dubai, you've set up, you got the 4 months, you got some results. The challenge starts then, or give me the version 1, you know, the first ever challenge, the first ever prize money, the journey there, because you know, I think did you give away £10,000 in the beginning?
The beginning, I knew that I had to do something different. And I've had a big name in the industry and nobody really knew who I was. The only people that knew me as the fitness guy was people from my hometown. They grew up with me. They knew that I was the gym guy. When my mates were partying, I was in the gym. When we were going to house parties, I would turn up with a protein shake. Everybody knew me as the fitness guy, so they would trust me to a level. So the first challenge, I gave away a trip to Dubai. So people also knew that I was in engineering before. They knew I was money hungry.
Okay, sorry, before we go into the trip in Dubai and the cash, the fact that you have given away nearly to date £300,000, which is a huge amount of money for this, what was the real differentiator that was the start that became the challenge? So give me that, like where you knew, let me do this and the spreadsheets, and give me that journey.
Okay, so I moved to Dubai. I got a job in a gym. The reason I got a job in the gym was to build a network. I went to a gym that was usually high net worth people go to. People with money, I knew that if I can go there, conversate with them, I can then attract clients to then go freelance. That was my whole goal. I never ever wanted to work for somebody, and I never do. This is just, I want to be my own boss. So my goal was to go there, network, and then leave that gym and take the clients with me. And that's what I've done. So I've done that, and these clients then paid me my salary for the next time. And I still communicate with these people today. Some of them are my friends. And in the meantime, I was building something else in the background. So as I said, I never wanted to work for somebody. I wanted to build something bigger than just being an online personal trainer or an in-person one-to-one trainer. I wanted to build something bigger. So my goal was to build a gym. I wanted to build a F45-like style boutique gym that focused solely on transformations, 8-week courses, similar to the challenge. But this was going to be an in-person studio. And I wanted to start with one, prove that the concept worked, and then franchise this or have multiple locations. Again, this was not, I never thought this through severely. I just knew the end goal was to grow whatever I did. That was number one. So I set up.
It was a physical product?
That was initially, yes. I had a business called Train, Track, Transform. I had the nice logo, I had TRA in it. I spent a long time designing that. I was proud of it. And I remember being in Bali on the beach. My friends were drinking. I was on Canva on the beach designing logos and designing market material for this. And this was a physical business. So I'm assuming you don't even know this story.
No.
So this is where it started. I wanted to start something physical, and I wanted to be the biggest gym in Dubai or the biggest transformation group class. That's what I wanted to achieve. And then I set up the business. I had a free zone license in DMCC, or was it a free zone license in DMCC? It was the top one. In DMCC, it was an expensive license. I wanted to do everything proper. I wanted to be premium. Then I got an office space and a gym space within a building in JLT called 1JLT. Then the goal was to do one class, one intake with 6 people. And I'd done that. I gave these 6 people it for free. I was waking up at 4 a.m. in the morning. I was going to this class. We were starting at 5:30, 6 a.m. in the morning. I was setting this up 3 or 4 times a week for these people. They were doing it for free. And they all got an amazing result. And that's all I cared about. I didn't care about taking their money. I wanted to prove to people that this concept worked. And it did. And as soon as the first intake finished and I had all the marketing results, I remember sitting in the office, getting these guys in, taking their pictures, and I'm thinking, well, this is going to be good. I'm going to put these on Instagram or Facebook and I'm going to get clients. The week after, COVID struck and the gym shut. So I've just spent £25,000 setting up my gym license, everything.
The 4 months that you spent saving to do something big is literally burnt within a stroke of a pen. They have to shut all the businesses.
Like literally the next day they sent an email, the gym is now closed. The office is now closed. And I'm sitting there like, I wasn't too concerned in terms of, I was like, all right, okay. But it's frustrating. What can I do now? It's not, okay, I'm going to feel sorry for myself. It's...
You didn't pack up and go home like most would.
No. I stayed.
What was your thought process then?
I still had clients that I was training one-to-one as well. So I was making okay money. I was charging maybe £100 a session, £200 a session. And I would maybe have 20, 30 sessions a week. So I knew I could survive. And then the actual gym shut as well, where I was training these people one-to-one. And rather than pack up and go home, I thought to myself, how can I then pivot and move this to something else? What can I do? I need to change this online. And I remember sitting in a villa that I was living in at the time, and I was just brainstorming. I was learning how to build websites. I joined Wix, and I was building Wix websites, having no idea what I was doing, just in learning this stuff. And then I thought, what can I do that's going to interest people at this time? What do people want? And over time, Dubai started to open up earlier than the rest of the world. So you could come to Dubai and you could freely move around. Whereas the UK, you were still locked up and whatever the lockdowns were in COVID. So I thought, okay, let's do an online transformation. Let's get people all over the world on it, or at least people in my hometown that know me and I can connect to. And let's give away a trip to Dubai. And usually people, how could somebody afford to give away a trip to Dubai? People knew that I was an engineer, they knew that I flipped properties, so there was a bit of trust there. They're like, okay, this guy's not going to scam.
You're definitely getting the trip.
Yeah, it's going to be there. I'm putting myself out there. So I launched the first challenge with a trip to Dubai. That was the thing. And my goal was to use this as an incentive to sign people up, but also an incentive to make sure they stick to it. It's a nice prize to win. If you have somebody sign up and they've not got any financial incentive, or they're not working to anything, really working towards something, it's very likely they're going to fall off track. So I had to motivate them in some way, an external way, other than just the result. And that was my way to do it. It was offer a holiday as an incentive. And then the first challenge had 24 people signed up, just through word of mouth. And that was £99.99 to join that challenge.
Did you manage to at least cover the cost of the trip?
I broke even.
Broke even.
So I made £2,400. And the guy that won, I flew him over, I put him in 5 JVC, I had a pool on his balcony, I took him skydiving, I took him jet skiing, I took him to the nice restaurants, to pool parties, beach clubs. And yeah, we used that market material to then continue to grow the business to where it is today.
Okay, so like we've heard the past there now, we've seen what the first product looked like, let's say version 0.1, because it's obviously greatly different now. And you've had, I think it's challenge 29?
We're currently on challenge 29.
Yeah, we're on challenge 29, which is obviously a huge success that the project and the product is still going, and I'm lucky enough to be in since the last number of challenges. But for people who want to know exactly what it is right now, today, if I join this next challenge, challenge 29, what are people getting from the 8-week transformation challenge for their £149 if they join now?
So over the years, I've designed this to be the best experience possible for the user. When I first started, as you mentioned, I started with spreadsheets. I literally built a spreadsheet on Google Sheets. And my main thing, I used to listen to a lot of Jordan Peterson. I love to listen to his podcasts or anything that he had to say because he understands human psychology, understands the brain. And I always remember him saying something around humans need small, tangible goals to work towards. It releases dopamine every time you hit that. So I had to design this whole system, this whole project around small, tangible goals, not basically, okay, you sign up, you now weigh 100 kilo, in 8 weeks you're going to weigh 60 kilo or whatever. If somebody's joins something and sees that it's too far ahead in the future, they don't understand, their brain cannot comprehend what comes in between that. So my whole thing, I just wanted to build week by week goals for these people to sign up. So the whole app, once you sign up, you get access to everything you need. You get workouts, you get your nutrition targets, you get step targets, it doesn't matter if you're a beginner, intermediate or advanced. You get check-in support, you get accountability, everything you need to achieve a result. That's exactly what you get.
One thing that when I started looking in the product, the leaderboard, the accountability and the community element that has been developed and that is there, it really sort of shows you who else is in the product, who else is working towards the same goal. And obviously you're trying to achieve the success, which is to win the cash prize, which is what the current big incentive is for everybody that joins, is that cash prize. But where did that idea come in to have that accountability for the individual? And it does set this product aside from a lot of other products. A lot of other products you sign up and you never hear from anybody.
Yeah.
But here at the 8-week transformation challenge, you do. So those two things, the leaderboard accountability and the community, how has that helped the product? Because we're nearly at, over 10,000 transformations. So
more than that.
More than that? Yeah. What are those two things? Why are they so important?
So this is something I've recently added. So it's worked so well because the founder, myself, actually cares. I care about every single person that signs up to this challenge. The accountability, the community feel and the leaderboards are something that I've recently added. Obviously from some advice from yourself, I think this whole product has to be built around community. Everybody knows what to do to lose weight. You eat healthier, you eat less, and you move more. If people really wanted to do that, they could do it without signing up to my product. They could do it without signing up to any product. People need accountability and they need a support group. And this is why this is super important and why we are really integrating this now and looking to build on this. So I recently introduced a WhatsApp community, which is working really, really well. Not everybody uses it. Maybe on the New Year challenge, we had over close to 1,500 people on that. I think only 300 or 400 people signed into the WhatsApp community. But the people that did sign into that WhatsApp community love it. And this is why they come back and back.
And was the winner, and maybe this gets edited out if the answer is yes, but was the winner or the recent winners in that grand prize that you did, were they a part of the community?
The majority of them, yes. Not all of them, but the main winner, I would say 5 out of 8 were active in that community. But this is not why they were selected as the winners. But as you say, there probably is a reason why they are a winner, because they were part of it, they were contributing, they were holding themselves accountable amongst this other group, or the group. So it definitely plays a factor in terms of adherence, I would say.
I think just from my point of view, looking at that, every time I go to the gym, now since I've been here in Geneva, I've been going to the gym by myself, in the sense that I've been training by myself. Like me and my wife are going, but I'm training by myself. And my level of training it's maintenance mode, right? But you got here 2 days ago, and last week Rob was here, and my training was better. It was more ambitious. I was hitting more reps. I was trying to do more. I could feel myself, that I've trained better because I had an accountability partner. And the community for me and the leaderboard really, really puts that. And anybody that's trying to do this should remember that you're a part of a bigger thing. You're not just entering in this challenge to win a prize. You're entering a challenge with thousands of other people as well. So for me, I think it's greatly important, and the community is the only thing that people can't get from new technology like AI and such. You can go and create a product, but you can't create community. Community is built over years, foundation of you putting the time in over the last number of years. One thing that you said there is that you've actually got more than 10,000 transformations. So we've had more than 10,000 transformations since like literally the start in 2019 is when the challenge concept.
2020 was the first.
The first challenge. What is the single biggest reason you think people succeed at this transformation challenge compared to just going to the gym by themselves?
There's a collective why people stick to this, and I'm not going to blow my own trumpet, but I care about my customers and my clients. When you sign up to a generic one, or like, there's nobody behind it that really is there to answer your questions or really support you. I'm there every step of the way. I have a WhatsApp community. I send in weekly Q&As every Sunday. I literally answer questions, emails. It's a large part of my day. And from a business perspective, is it the most time effective thing for me to be doing? Probably not. But it works, and my customers can feel it, that it's me that's actually responding to them. So I think that is definitely a large part of this, because so many other people have tried to copy, I'm not just saying my business, but as a challenge as a whole, and they never succeed. You'll never see them follow up with amazing results time after time after time again. And there's a reason for that. They don't care. The app that they've built, or however they're providing the service to the customers, just isn't sticky. The customers just don't adhere to it. The amount of people that sign up to the challenge and say, this is the only thing that I've ever stuck to, and I've tried everything, is crazy. And that just comes down to years of building. And being an engineer, I like to look at data. I like to understand. I'll look and see when somebody drops off. Or there's something as simple. On the spreadsheets that I used to run, you would fill in your step targets every day. And if you were under 12,500 steps, the box would turn red. If you were over, it would turn green. I turned that feature off for a select group, a small group of 10 people. Those 10 people fell off. So something as simple as a color-coded box on a Google Sheet was enough to keep somebody on track. And things like this, that I've understood the science behind it and then implemented it towards the new app, is a big reason that this is a success.
We're going to get into the new app a little bit later on, but what I want to just talk about numbers, because people who know me and what I do with Let's Go More, I'm all about growing, scaling products, ideas, any of the companies that I'm involved in. If it's okay with you, let's talk about the numbers that are done in this business, and because people are going to be very interested in a business like this, what it actually does. And we know, and we've identified other businesses that are doing more, and we're working towards those goals. But it's good to get a foundation for the people that are watching this. Is like, what are we talking about here? What type of business, what type of scale is it? And how has it changed in the last 6 months since starting to work together?
Yeah. So, as we said, I started with giving away a holiday to Dubai, 24 people. Then it started to scale pretty quickly for a one-man band. It went from 24 to 76 people in the next challenge. Then it went from 76 to 153. Then it went from 153 to 530 people. So by this fourth challenge, I'm making 50,000 pound on one challenge, which is pretty good for a small startup that's in their first year. And I thought, how can I keep spicing this thing up? So by challenge 8, I was thinking, what else can I give away other than a trip to Dubai? And I shifted to cash, and I wanted to give away £10,000 because cash is king. The business is very high margin, and I had a lot of disposable cash that I could then use to reward the customers. And then, it gives you good market material if used correctly to then promote further challenges and reward the customers. So, sorry, I'm sidetracked. Where am I going with this?
So, yes, the idea is you got to a point where I'm
stagnating.
Yes. Yeah. And we meet, we're all asking each other what we do, we hang around a bit.
Yeah.
Then we all start talking about each other's businesses. I start vibing, you start getting ideas, you start implementing ideas, and you say, maybe there's more to this. Mm-hmm. Let's start working together.
Yeah. Okay.
Because the whole point of this is that other Scots and other people out
Yeah,
there
you can come
will
and do this. Yeah.
buy into the product,
Yeah. Okay.
buy into what we do,
Yeah.
you know, because we've worked with nearly 7 people now, and all of them have done more since starting working together. Even if we didn't do everything, but they've all started to make more money.
Something there,
There's some
for
magic
sure.
there, you know.
Yeah.
What is that? So you're doing great there. Get to the point, but now you're stagnating. You're doing the $10,000, but you're reaching a plateau, and then we start implementing some of our ideas.
So one of my first goals, and I don't know why, I was just like, okay, I want to make 100 grand from this challenge in a year. I'd done that. I made over 3 times that. And then I got to the point, right, okay, I'm going to give away £10,000 on a challenge. It took me 8 challenges. On the 8th challenge, I gave away £10,000. And I made £100,000 on that challenge. And that was challenge number 8. And I remember doing £10,000 in one day, and I was like, okay, I'm onto something here. But rather than really double down and think, okay, let's operate as a proper enterprise, start hiring people and moving like a proper business, I still treated it like a lifestyle business. I got a little bit comfortable, because when you start making £100,000 a month, it's good money. You can live comfortably on that.
Very comfortably.
But for somebody as ambitious as me, my whole life growing up, I always wanted to make more and make more and make more. But this never really, nothing, I didn't continue to drive, and I have no idea why that is. I think I just lacked direction, and I didn't really know where to go for that. So I was just cruising. I would just make £80,000, £100,000 a month and think, okay, I'm living a nice life. And then I was on a car rally in Dubai. And I'm being surrounded by people. I know people that make money and whatever else. It's inspiring. But we had a quick chat. I remember Dean came over to you when you jumped out the Bugatti. He wanted to connect and just see, what does this guy do? I always remember Dean said to me, who's the guy in the Bugatti? He must be renting that. So we came over and started speaking to you. And it was actually you and Andrew in the car. And we just got on. We went for dinner. You invited us over for lunch. We sat at your table. You were a nice guy, and I was thinking, who is this guy? What does he do? And then we had lunch. We exchanged. No, you started asking me what I do for a living, and you were very interested, which I was quite surprised. And then you were basically asking me how I get leads. You were telling Mike, look, it's all leads. I remember you saying that, and we just got on. From there, being around you in the circle, seeing what you've achieved at your young age, 38 is quite young for what you've achieved.
Yeah.
It basically injected me with some more energy and made me think, I need to start upping my game here. Not in terms of comparing myself, but seeing what is possible when you really lock in and you're in the right group.
You were at the point, from my perspective, where everything was going well, everything was going in the right direction. You built this up to a point where it was doing exactly what you set out 4 years prior, you know. But what happened is maybe you hadn't set out the next 4 years realistically. In theory, that's what happened. You've told a story to that point, you know. But yes, we met up. We ended up going playing golf, I think, a couple of weeks later, and I think it was maybe at least about 9 months later. I sat in after playing golf with Scott. I got a little bit better, and we literally did a recording, which I did put up on YouTube. This is before we started working together, before we started even to have the partnership, and we broke down all of the things. Remember, in the business, the different strategies, the different tools that could be employed, the different marketing strategies, email strategies, SEO strategies, all of these different concepts. And you just went away and started doing 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah. But
pull up the video.
It's very difficult for me to find somebody like yourself that actually has a genuine interest and wants to help people. There's always somebody out there that's something needs to be about them. You were always just giving me advice for free because I could feel you wanted to see me do better and succeed. And I've only known you for a month. I've had people in the past, many people come, I want to invest in this business. And I was literally in a beach club in Dubai, and some French guy offered to send me 200 grand on the spot. He had his bank account out. And I'm like, I don't need money. I can build this business with the capital I do have. the difference with yourself and why I wanted to work with you is because I could see your genuine interest in seeing me succeed as a person. And you weren't in it for the wrong reasons. And that was important to me. So that's one reason. And yeah, just like you were saying there, you on that golf day when we were golfing, we went through the funnels. We went through how can we capture more leads. We went through quite a lot of things. And I did. I started to go and implement them. Could I have found that out myself if I'd done research? 100%. Why did I not? I have no idea.
So the funny thing about all of this, most of the time, the things that are most obvious, the little broken things in any business, are obvious. And anybody looking at any business that is all about leads has 4 or 5 different things. And this is our model. We see 4 or 5 different things: top of funnel, price, product, and then brand. If one of those levers can be pulled, even just slightly, and it affects a change, that should then come down to the bottom line, which nearly everything that we've said with you, everything that we've said with any other of the partners that we work with, it's usually around those things. And while you say to yourself, why didn't I think of that, or I should have thought of that, or was obvious, someone else, a partner, is giving you that small bit of information just to give you that push, makes the world of difference. And it is extremely valuable. But the main point of what I'm trying to say is that even me, myself, I could not have done where I've got to without my partners, you know? And when you're in a business like you built it from the ground up, you're by yourself, having a partner, that last 5% always is literally the difference, you know? And I think it's really important. If you are creating something, try not to do it alone forever. Eventually you will need someone to help you scale, to help you grow, to come up with a different thought or fresh set of eyes at the business. Okay, just going back to the numbers. Mm-hmm. You went from 100,000 averaging on the challenge, and now you're sitting at close to $250,000. And I know that the product is in pounds, but we're going into dollars just to give it some round numbers. Your last challenge, you decided to give away 5 times your usual amount. What gave you the courage to do that, and did it work?
I just like to give back. Like, I'm not a greedy guy. I want to have a good business. I want to make good money, but I also want to reward my customers for showing trust in me. And I like to reward people that actually take action. That's a big thing for me. I like people who work hard. I don't like people who expect handouts or sit around and complain about everything. If you come on board and you do something well, and it's like at work. If you do well, you should be rewarded for it. So I just want to give back. And 50,000, I'm not going to stop there. There will be a challenge where I give away 100,000 pounds. When that will be, I have no idea. But that will be within the next year or two. That's one of my big goals. But to answer your question, yes, it did work. So as you says, we were going from averaging 80 to 100,000 pound a challenge up to $250,000, which is 200,000 pound if you want it. So we over doubled the intake for the challenge. Was that down to the 50,000 pound? Was it down to a change in energy from me putting into the business? Was it like there's a lot of factors that
the funnel, the changes in the funnel,
yes,
the changes in the conversion rate, everything, every moment that you put more of your energy on the process where the lead came in, that is why you got the change, because the customer was always there. Maybe they were slightly stuck, and you made that bottleneck, clear. And now the lead came in, and ultimately you nearly doubled your business, or doubled a bit.
Yeah.
1.5. If the January challenge was so successful, 250,000, what do you think the challenge needs to get? Because you told me that you want to give $1 million, right? What do you think?
$1 million.
Yeah. Eventually, you said.
I want to give away £1 million.
Yeah. What do you think the challenge needs to get there? Do you think it needs something? I'm kind of leading into the next point around the tech and the app and stuff like that. And obviously, one of our big focuses on product. What do you think this needs in order to get to that point where you've achieved that next milestone?
Yeah, it needs a more scalable app. So we went from spreadsheets, and I operated on spreadsheets for a long time. Everything was shared via Google Drive and Google Sheets, and it's just not scalable at all. So then we pivoted, and my developer Josh, he then designed a web app that was working very, very well. And it's slick, but it's not super scalable, and it's not a super smooth experience for the users. So from when I met you, and you had a look at the product and you downloaded it, you liked the interface, you liked how it looked, everything, but you understood right away that this is not going to take me to the next level. So this is why I've been focusing so much on developing the native app, and obviously bringing on board Audris, who's the senior developer. And obviously one of the good benefits of working with you guys, you have access to these high-level guys, and who can you can guarantee they're going to do good work, because I have been stung in the past. I did try to build an app using developers from Upwork before, and I got punished and lost £20,000-30,000.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Exactly. So this is one of the huge benefits to working with guys like yourself. You cut that part out. This is a costly thing. It could ruin a startup. So if you have the right guidance, the right network from the start, the chances of you winning are a lot higher.
You've passed that moment where you have to learn the lesson yourself, even though you did. I've done it as well many times when I had my agency, but you've passed that moment where you had to get burnt technically by the next developer, whatever like that, because it does happen.
Yes.
So obviously I spoke a little bit about the four things that we tend to look at, right, when it comes to the product and the pricing and the funnel and things like that. But with the 8-week transformation challenge, it was very, very clear that the product was very successful, that people loved it and people used it. A lot of these things, people download a product, they sign up to a website and they don't actually use it. But we knew that there were so many people engaging on the web app. They were saving it to their home screens, they were logging in, tracking everything, doing all of the things that they needed to do, that this did need a native app that sits on the person's phone. For a number of reasons. Obviously for marketing and push notifications and different more features within the phone that could be used, like the actual local tracking and all these different things that are coming down the road. But getting the native app, like, what in your opinion is the biggest problem that you're solving with this app?
There's so much more you can do with a native app. Even data collection on the back end, we can then use that data. We understand everything about the user, and then in the future, if we want to then go and expand the business into e-commerce, or if we want to build products or clothing ranges or supplements, we can then tap into all this data that we see and then market to these people accordingly. Also, just the feel for the user, it's a much more premium experience rather than, as you says, downloading an icon from the web app to your home screen. It just is good. It's a big upgrade from the spreadsheets that I was selling, but it's just not. If I signed up to a company like Whoop and you see it as a premium company, then I have to download a web app. It's just, the feel's not there. So it just upgrades the business as a whole to a more premium feel, I feel.
And it gives you so much more options. You know, you can set inside the app reminders for the individual so that they know that, okay, they got to track. You know, they got to add their steps. They got to add in their meal. They got to add in whatever they have to add. They have to go to the workout that they're meant to do on that day. Yeah. There's so much ability.
The way that the native app has been designed allows us for so much more control, so much more features for the user. And yeah, as you said, it's a better experience for them. We have the ability to push notification them, or even something as simple as, okay, it's Sunday, take your progress picture. Because if a user is sitting on a Sunday and receives that, and they've maybe fallen off track on the Saturday, that might just be the nudge to get them back on board. So something as simple as that will do wonders for the business.
Yeah, it's offering tremendous additional value, which is, you know, right now, it's totally unexpected, and people are going to have this in probably a couple of months.
I would say on the next challenge, we should be ready. But
so for Challenge 30?
Yeah, we're going to do something big for Challenge 30 for the launch.
Okay, and are you comfortable talking about subscriptions now, if I ask you that question?
Yeah.
Just to get it all down. Okay, cool, great. So obviously the business right now is challenge based, every 8 weeks, plus a bit of a cooling off period to warm up for the next challenge. And, you know, people do take 2 challenges. They might do once or twice a year, but we're going to go from the 5 to 6 challenges a year, moving it now to have the option for people to work with the app on a monthly basis. So what does going to a subscription base subscription style product look like in your mind for what is the 8-week transformation challenge? How does that fit in?
So I literally have people that do 6 challenges in a row. I've got many users right now that are on their 5th or 6th challenge in a row for a reason. They love the app, they love the accountability that comes with it. But it's one product that we offer, and it's just not good enough. So the subscription base is obviously just there for somebody who's completed the challenge. They've done the 8 weeks. They now know what they do, but they just want to continue with the accountability factor. This is a large part that I sell. It's not just a fitness product. I sell accountability, just like you do as a business coach. You sell accountability to me, whether like you market it that or not. You hold me accountable to some extent. We're human beings. We need to be held accountable. This is a large part of my business. The subscription model is just to be there. So when somebody wakes up in the morning, they know that they have to go and step on the scales and track. And this is going to be £25 or $24.99 per month. So once you've completed the challenge, you've got a result, you trust me, you know the product works, you want to continue to use it, but maybe you don't want to be spending $149.99 every 2 months. It's expensive for the whole year.
This unlocks it unlocks a huge amount of value for those individuals that want to retain that accountability. Do they retain the element of community that they might have, enjoyed over those 8 weeks?
Yeah, all subscribers will be in a community as well. It will start with the WhatsApp community because it works so well, but we want to embed this into the app so it's an in-app experience and everything is in one place. This is the goal with that.
Okay, so the ideal customer for the product is someone who has started the journey. Even me, before I even invested in this, I did your challenge and I lost, I went from 96 kilos or 95 kilos, and now I'm sitting at 79 after my second one, which is good. And every day I get up, I do my steps, I check my weight. So I do feel like it's perfect for someone who's just done the challenge. But going back to you building this product for people who will use it, because you're building it for the users, they're telling you what they want. You read the emails every day, you respond to the majority of them yourself. But what is building an app that is going to be launched? You come back from a technical background, engineering, you know what you're doing, but what's it like going from, selling the product all the time on the front of house to now going back and rebuilding all of this again into an app? What's that been like for you?
So I'm lucky enough to have Josh on board as well. Josh is a co-founder in the challenge, and he's a very, very good developer that has OCD. So this is why it looks so good and functions so well. So I'm kind of overseeing the project. I'm speaking with the customers. I'm noting down exactly what they want. I take any feedback on board, whether it's positive or negative, because that allows me to improve the product going forward. I'm welcoming this. I email the users and ask them for any feedback they do have, and then I give this to Josh, who then goes away and develops this in the back end. I'm not a developer. I try to keep away from that as much as possible, because I would prolong the launch of the app if I was in it the whole time. But yeah, it can be frustrating. But in terms of where it's going and where it's going to take the business, it's worthwhile.
Let's talk about lead generation, because one thing that I'm trying to get you to do a lot more is this, being on camera, talking about your business, let's say slightly building in public, showing people what it takes to build, a very, very strong 6-figure and in the future a 7-figure business in the fitness space. But I want to talk about the lead engine, right? I love talking about leads. I'm very much in love with the idea of sales, and if you learn sales, that you'll never be broke and you'll never go hungry, which I think is true. But give me some of your old ideas that you used to have around leads and how that's changed over the years. How do you get leads? What do you do? And if we can, let's talk about some of the new things that you're doing, maybe compounding a little bit of the lead gen with AI and stuff like that. If we can talk about leads,
okay, so
what it means to get leads.
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough not having to go shopping for leads. I relied on my product and my customer service being so good that my customers do the talking for me. And again, this leads to why I stagnated for so long. And I wasn't ever going to a new audience. The reason that I was making £100,000 a month is because my customers were talking well about me and bringing in their friends. And some social media posts or whatever. I never ran any ads. I never really done anything to go and get new leads. When I was posting on Instagram, I was just posting the results to promote the clients and what they've just achieved. It was never to, okay, this will bring me this person. I was lucky to an extent. These people spoke for me without me even asking them to speak for me. Was it because they're in the chance of winning money and they want to, like, oh, I'm helping Scott out, maybe he'll take this on board? I don't know if that had a part to play, but I never really searched for leads. And it's stupid. If you want to build in business and you want to grow, you need to bring in new eyeballs all the time. And this is what I've learned from being around yourself. So now this is what we're going to go into, whether it's through paid ads, whether it's through asking my current customers to bring new people through an affiliation program or anything like this. This is going to help scale a lot faster than it would be if I'm just relying on word of mouth.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're actually in the process of building new funnels now. We're going to run some ads and we're going to test and test and test. And yeah, this is it. We're in a testing phase. And once we figure this equation out, then we're going to start scaling to high levels for sure. Like, there's no doubt about it. The product is good. The current bottleneck, as we're not getting leads, enough leads that we can serve. The purpose of this new app is to handle, it doesn't matter if 10 people sign up or 1 million people sign up. They're all going to come in, they're all going to receive the same experience. Why not handle 1 million people rather than settle with 10?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's kind of opened my mind in terms of thinking there and seeing what is capable and seeing other guys do it. But I'm also aware that there is people out there in the industry doing much larger numbers than me, but the product is nowhere near as good. So why am I not going there and taking their customers?
They're good at funnels.
Exactly.
So one thing that you've done, and you've done it very well since the start, is realistically user-generated content, which is a huge element of social media. It's a huge element of lead generation and building brand trust and product trust and trust in you as the founder. So you've done that very, very well. And it's something that will always work for especially this business because it's fitness. People are going from point A to point B. Point B, they usually look better. They want to show that and they want to say how they got there. So this as a lead engine and lead system is amazing, and you've obviously achieved that. But then taking that and putting it into ads, you have to do a lot of testing, which you're doing. But there's other things that you're doing now with AI. And you gave me a bit of a demo before about a new lead funnel that you were talking about, where the people can go on a journey to understand what they need to take in terms of food, like recipes and stuff like that. Do you want to explain that a little bit?
These are just additional features that are going to improve the experience for our current customer base, but also as a lead magnet to generate new customers. With AI, I don't know why everybody in the world is not using this and utilising it for what it's capable of doing. Is it ignorance? Is it laziness? I don't know. But everybody should be using AI to some extent. And what I'm using it for is to improve the experience for my customers. So as you just mentioned, I had an idea. I'm literally sitting there last week. I'm thinking, how can I generate new leads via ads? I don't just want to run an ad. It's very difficult to market a transformation result as an ad because Meta doesn't like it. It's if you show a before and after picture, they think it's going to make somebody feel upset about how they look. They do not allow it. So it's hard to really promote my product or the finishing product. If you want to sell to somebody, you need to sell the result. It's hard to sell a feature. If I pop up an image in my app, nobody cares. They see these images or these videos of apps all the time. They want to know how they'll feel or how they'll look at the end of the day. That's how these people buy. So how else can you do that or provide some sort of value? And people struggle with what to eat. So I was thinking, okay, how can I build something that can help anybody who wants to feel better? I literally had an idea that we run an ad, say, okay, are you struggling to lose weight or whatever? Okay, sign up here, tell us your weight, tell us your body fat percentage. This is how many calories you should have to eat. What do you want to eat? Do you have any allergies? Do you want to have a vegan recipe? Do you want to have anything? You can filter this down as much as you really want. You plug in your details, we take your name, your email address, your phone number, and then we send you instantly. Within 2 minutes, you'll receive a 7-day meal plan suited to your preferences. Super simple. It's a super simple for me to think of this, but we've had to go away and develop this with the use of AI. Then Josh is away coding on the back end to embed this in our CRM and whatever else.
So the new funnel is attract. So you had an issue where you had to overcome this sort of ads meta social media ad or social media funnel issue where people maybe, does it get reported, the image
No,
before and
the
after?
AI will pick up on it and it'll just be
Okay,
like, okay, this will make somebody feel bad. Don't
get
show
rid
this
of it.
image. Yeah.
Okay,
And you
cool.
can they can block your ad account. So
Yeah. So you
rather than do
overcome that
that
with a new idea, a new concept where you can offer free value, and value is something that I talk about a lot, and it's a big part of Let's Grow More. The idea of offering value instead of offering product, which you've identified. And yeah, this is going to get you leads. Do you think that you obviously have the user generated content, you have these new initiatives, these new ideas to get obviously the top of funnel? They'll eventually come down to the app, or they're going to go into like some type of marketing engine or some type of sales engine. What goes on after there?
So before I met you, I started the wait list for the challenge. So when a challenge was going, you couldn't really sign up to anything. What could you do? How could we capture that lead? They would sign up to the wait list and then they would sit on the wait list until the next challenge begins. When these people signed up to the wait list, they received a message saying, hey, you're on the wait list, and that's it. They'd receive or hear nothing from me until 2 weeks before a challenge begins, and then they have the option to sign up. By then, 50%, 60% has forgot they've even signed up. They get the email and they're like, who is this guy? And then they don't. I've lost them as a customer. You really embedded in me. I need to nurture these people. And it's not, okay, buy from me, sell, sell, sell. It's, here's some information. Here's some stuff that can help you. Here's some value that, okay, you'll think of my business as something that's helped you without actually asking for money. And it just keeps me as a business front of their mind. And when they do hear about the challenge starting in a few weeks or whenever, they maybe think, okay, this guy actually cared or he done something for me. I'm going to now buy from him. So this is what I've been working on.
And when you implemented a little bit more nurturing, a couple of more touch points, it goes back to that idea of being top of mind, building trust and building that brand traction so that they know who you are, they remember who you are. Did that help conversion in the sale later on when it came down to the actual, here's a challenge coming in 2 weeks? What were the conversion rates? Were they improved or were they similar?
They were improved for sure. Just simply because you're front of mind. And these people are remember, whether you're just keeping your email warm, because the open rate of emails are not the best. It can be 10%, it could be lower than that. We've managed to get that up to 85% because we are sending value. People do like to open our emails, which is huge for email. But what we also do is we use WhatsApp marketing. And it's not a case of, okay, let's email or let's WhatsApp these people every single week. It's just, okay, let's just touch point here, let them know that we're here. So when they do receive a WhatsApp from us a week before the challenge starts, they remember us and there's already a chat open or something like that.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so we've talked about product, we've talked about the future product, we've talked about the scale. Let's talk a little bit about Let's Grow More and what that is to you and how it's helped you or how it's changed some of your thought processes along the way. But one thing that we did start talking about was the people, the team, the additional members to your business that you get by having a partner like Let's Grow More, like Owen, like Jason. And you touched on Odrous, so maybe give a bit of an idea around that's helped you. And then if we can, obviously Greg is from our point of view is assisting with all of the different projects that we work with. What value have you got out of having access to people who are making sure that you're getting what you need out of this partnership and getting you moved forward and keep moving forward so we get to that result, to get to that end goal?
Yeah, it's a huge part. Working with Let's Grow More, me making that decision to bring you guys on board as investors was, as I'm touched on, you actually care about seeing me grow, the accountability behind it, but also the group of people that you bring to the table, such as Greg, who's a business consultant. He's not just there to pat on my shoulder and say, okay, how's revenue looking? Are you making more money for the guys? That's not the case. He's actually sitting there and saying, okay, he's taking a step back, he's overviewing the whole business, and he's saying, okay, we need somebody here, we need this, we need to work on this. And this is something that when I'm stuck in the weeds of the business, I don't actually see this. And having that fresh set of eyes like Greg really does help. As I said, he's accountable. He keeps me accountable to an extent. We have the monthly board meeting, which also, it keeps me on my toes. I'm like, okay, I have to work towards these targets. I need to be able to present something to these guys that have put trust in me. Yeah, and Greg's just building some sort of business structure rather than just have it as it's a lifestyle business that makes good money. It's now turning into something that's a proper structured business through the help of to Greg.
Yeah. One thing that when I was, let's say, going from just me and my brother working in our first company, which was the web agency, and then now working with other people, not being like the only shareholder, having other shareholders, having other stakeholders, having responsibilities. There's a transition going from the builder of the product, the main actor in the business, to sort of moving towards this kind of like leadership level, so that you're really transitioning to be on top and having the team and having the structure of the business there, like you just said. What's that been? Because it's been like, what, maybe 6 months, and you've gone from the guy that does everything to more of a structured leadership level role. What's that been like? It's been hard.
It's been very hard for me to take a step back, but very beneficial. It gives me much more free time to then build the business and grow the business rather than work in it. I was literally waking up in the morning and firefighting every day, and I never really took a step back to look at it and see how much this is stunting my growth as a business. It's just like, oh, this is what I do. This is how the business is run. When in reality, I had to sit back and say, I've literally had the funds there. Why did I not think about structuring the business so it can grow more efficiently? I'll never know. But it's just a fresh set of eyes that has just given me that energy and spark to finally do this. And having this free time back is huge, because I can then go and work on these lead magnets and funnels and lead generation. But the only thing that I'm lacking with right now is some sort of social media presence, personal branding, or like founder-led content. I'm not a big fan of the camera. Even doing this podcast is very rare for me. So if I can slowly go into that field and people can see the face behind the company and see the team that's backing the company and see it's not just some stupid coach in his bedroom, it's actually a proper business that is building something for the users, then it's certainly going to help.
Yeah, well, I strongly believe in the idea of building a personal brand or building a strategy around content. You can even do it somewhat faceless. You don't have to always be present. There can be other people as part of the company, because you have partners now, that makes sense. And you can make new decisions to get to that stage. But I do feel in this particular product, the fact that we have a new launch, a new app, that could be huge, very, very huge for this. It could help turbocharge the lead engines. There's so many different things and reasons why personal brand works. But yeah, it is something, if you have to be comfortable with it. You have to like the camera. You have to be open to it. You just have to be, it has to be natural, and never force anything, because that's when you make bad decisions. So, you don't have to do it. It's all right. So, one book or one resource that every fitness entrepreneur should watch or read.
I'm big on human psychology. So, as I said before, I like Jordan Peterson. He's got a book, 12 Rules for Life. I think every man should read that.
Nice. Okay. What's the best business decision that you've made in the last 12 months?
Do you want me to say bringing on Let's Grow More?
No one's got a gun to your head here, but okay. No. What's your honest best business decision that you've made in the last 12 months?
I would honestly say bringing on partners, Let's Grow More, you and Jason, having access to you guys. It's not just a case of, okay, these guys are now financially invested in my company. It's these guys care, and I can reach out to you any time I want, and I'm going to get a response. This doesn't happen in other investments. These other guys that invest in companies, whether it's VC or whatever, they're not there every second. They don't care. All they care about is top line revenue and getting their dividend payment as highly as possible without even interacting with the founder. You guys answer the phone to me or text me within 2 minutes. That's a huge part of why I'm working with you guys.
Well said. I could not have said it better myself. Okay, cool. What is one decision that most scared you?
And where?
In life. But you're glad that you made it. So what is one decision that you made that scared you, but you're glad that you made that decision?
When I was leaving for Dubai, when I was going to I knew everything was going to work out when I quit my job in the UK and leave. But that's Of course, it was a scary process, but I'm glad I made it.
Okay. The next one could be a little bit hard. Okay. So, have you identified one thing that most fitness businesses get wrong and stops them from scaling?
They don't care. They're in it for the wrong reasons. As I said before, the amount of people that have tried to run a challenge or copy me or run a fitness challenge and they never follow through or never get to the level that I get, they're in it for the wrong reasons. They do not care. You have to have some sort of genuine passion and concern for the customer and providing a good service rather than just hit and run and make money.
And we recently saw an imitator, Mela, didn't we?
Who's this? What's this?
Well, cut this out, but the guys in Malta, that's why I said
Oh,
Mela.
yeah. Okay.
In it for the wrong reasons, in it for the dough.
Yeah.
In it for the cash, man. Okay. I'm going to ask this because we might as well. So, if Grow More did not exist, where would your business be right now?
It would be less structured. It would be doing the same as what I was doing prior to you coming on board. And yeah, it would have just been stagnant with no real future direction. Of course, in my mind, it's like, okay, I want to continue to make money, but no real structure or strategy to achieve that. Now there's clear vision where I need to be. And of course, I'm not perfect. I need a lot to work on myself, but I now have identified what that has to be. And I'm working towards that. Whereas before, I would just be doing what I'm doing.
Imagine what I wonder, like, your business completely pivoted in the COVID moment. And I don't want to talk about geopolitical events, but you were based in Dubai and there was a need to, possibly pivot again. Imagine if there was a need because you physically left a location, you're going back, all these things. I wonder what would have happened.
What do you mean?
Well, during COVID, you pivoted your business from the physical business to an online business. And then your business obviously is in Dubai. We were all hanging around with the lads and all the stuff. But imagine if we weren't all together and you were sitting out in your apartment. What would you have done? That's crazy.
I would have done something online. I was always good with computers. I was always selling stuff on eBay or...
No, the business would still have existed.
Yeah.
But you would have had a moment where you're like, what the fuck am I doing? There would have been another thought process, I'm sure.
For sure. Yeah.
And because, there has to be... I remember, sure, me and you were playing golf one day, do you remember? And you bailed into the cart with one lad, and after the third hole or fourth hole, you were like, you did a challenge. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, and the Montgomery Golf Course.
Yeah. That was great.
He said it was one of the best things he's done.
Yeah, but he was on challenge like 13 or something. It was ages ago.
Yeah, it was a couple of years
But you remembered
before.
him.
Yeah. I remember every person's name that's done the challenge.
That's fantastic. That shows that you care. Good man, Scott. You're an honest lad. You know that. Okay, cool. Last question. Very last question. It's a bit long. Emma made me a long sentence, which I need a moment to just double back on. Okay. Someone is going to launch an online fitness challenge tomorrow. What's one thing that they must get absolutely right for it to go anywhere?
Systems. You need to have a system. So right away, being an engineer, I knew, even though it was spreadsheets, everything like that, I had a system and I knew exactly what I was going to do. I knew how I was going to check in with people. That's what's required. It's not just a case of, okay, I'm going to post a picture of me with my top off because I look good and I'm going to incentivize people to sign up because they think I look good.
Which you don't.
I don't look good now. But I'm just saying other fitness influencers, big fitness influencers with millions of followers.
Yeah.
These guys, I don't know if they see my business, but they see other businesses because there are successful challenges out there. They see it and think, okay, this is an opportunity to make money. And what they do is they say, I'm going to launch an 8-week challenge. Here's a picture of me with my top off. And you'll never, ever see a result coming back from them because they've not built anything of substance. There's nothing there that really delivers value to the customer. There's no care, there's no checkups, there's nothing. This is, if you want to start a challenge, do it because you want to help people, your love for helping people, or you're going to fail. I can guarantee you that.
Okay, nice. Well, that is the end of the Q&A. Okay, so what we're going to do now is, take a big breath. Elevator pitch, 30 seconds into this camera. How do people sign up? How do people join? Who should they follow?
Go on www.8weektransformationchallenge.com and at this current moment, you have to sign up to the wait list. But now you will be nurtured and provided value, as we've just discussed in this podcast.
Okay, great. And how much exactly does it cost?
It costs £149.99.
When is the app going live?
The app will be live, inshallah. The app will be live for the next challenge.
Okay, so we've just done a podcast with Scott, the co-founder of the 8-Week Transformation Challenge. We've gone through in huge detail how the business went from $100,000 average dollars per challenge to over $250,000, which is a huge change as a result of our partnership and time and dedication to the business and to scaling the business. Watch this podcast, join, like, subscribe, and make sure you follow Scott. And more importantly, if you want to be like me in this condition right now, join the 8-Week Transformation Challenge on 8weektransformationchallenge.com.